All right, I am starting a video diary for myself and anybody else who wants to hear my thoughts and what's going through my head. These last several years since my campaign have been very introspective. Lots of change, lots of growth, and when I say growth, like growing teeth, growing bones, the uncomfortable growth, I don't really want to do this, but I know it's good for me kind of growth. And I've just been it's just been very interesting, to say the least. But what I've noticed is that I just have this gift that I want to share, and I get in my head just as good as the next person. I'm real good at getting into my head. Getting into, doubting myself or questioning what the gifts that I have, or why, what's wrong with me, like all the things. Maybe not, maybe you don't have those, but I'll get into that more in another space. Part of what I'm working on are just little mini crash courses to support people. Okay, let me back up. So why am I even doing this video blog, video podcast, video diary? That's what it was, right? Video diary. I want to give myself space to just begin speaking. I realized that one of my biggest hang-ups is the lovely gift that my mother gave me, which is perfectionism. I never see myself as good enough. I won't say never, because I'm changing that narrative. I am good enough right here, right now, sharing with you. But historically, I've never been good enough. So by doing this and just sharing, I'm able to rewrite the narrative that it's good enough right here as it is, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't even have to be a real thing. This is just a diary, if you will. And it also helps me to really clear out my headspace, because if we're just all in our head all the time and never share what is going on in here, it can just be a repeat record, and it can just be that and never become what it was meant to be, what that seed of the thought is meant to be. Something. We are creators, and so when seeds come into us, what I would say is from God, source, universal consciousness, you can call it whatever you want, creativity, the void, this empty space where you're calm and peaceful and open to receiving wisdom, information, your gift, the water, basically the water too, the water of life. When we're open to that, so much can come through. And if we don't do anything with it, like, what good is it? So this is an experiment for me. And my moving forward from this point is an experiment of allowing myself to be seen and heard imperfectly, just as I am. And doing so for myself, for you all, because I have a lot of gifts to share with humanity, but really it's for me right now, because I am I am my own worst critic, my own worst enemy, as we all are. There's this saying, like, if we could just get out of our own way. So this is me getting out of my own way. And I am going to experiment. What if? So I've done a lot of studying, and I would consider myself a scientist generally, but my degrees are in psychology and sociology, so social scientist. And for us scientists, it's all about the experiment, about the testing, about the data, about what is it that we can find in whatever we're exploring. Even botanists who are studying plants, they're exploring for something new or a phenomenon, or maybe something consistent that they see over and over, but they have something that they're looking for or wanting to learn. They have a question. I would say most science or most good study begins with a question. What if? Or what's here? What is this? And so my question, or my purpose in this experiment, is to allow myself to hop onto the train of what if I just share what I have to share and give what I have to give each day and see where it goes. Can I make a difference in the world by just being me and not being perfect? Because that's not a thing, even though that's like a record that plays in my head, and something I have to constantly combat or speak back to it. Y'all, I just have so much I want to share. And sometimes it does get a little overwhelming, because it is beautiful and it is lovely and peaceful and prosperous and guided, and divinely guided. I have to be careful when there's a weird relationship with God on this planet, here and now, in this moment. A little too much religion and a little too less experience of God or source, or being in that oneness is what I consider it. But and I don't see, this is where I get into that perfection space of, like, I don't want to do harm. I'm a yogi, and the very first principle of yoga is do no harm to self or others. And it's a beautiful virtue to live by, but also, like, at this point, it's almost impossible to do that when all of us are already harmed. We are damaged goods in some ways. And not in a bad way. Like, we have all experienced trauma or pain or suffering on this planet, and in that we get into we start to judge what is good, what is bad, what's okay, what's not, what do I need to avoid. And unfortunately, because of the narrative, I'm just gonna stop there. The narrative, God is one of those things, gets thrown into that of, like, good, bad, okay, not okay, avoid or attract to it. But a truth that I know is that we are all aspects of that. I'm getting off track here. But I'm just excited to be here and to share. And I'm not going to worry about who is repelled by me, or who doesn't like what I'm saying. I think that's another real space that many of us have been working through. I also am a firm believer that we are in a space and time where we are overcoming a lot of generational traumas or just bad ways of thinking and being on this planet. And one of those, especially for women, but people in general, many of us have gotten into, or it's even in our DNA, this people pleasing, that we have to please other people. And for me, a lot of that did come from the church and religion. And I think there's beauty in the idea of caring for others and being selfless. But in that teaching, it went way off the pendulum, like the pendulum swung way so far that we got into a place where if we do put ourselves first, or we take care of ourselves first, we're not in union with God, or we're not a good person, or whatever that is. And that inherently is false. So I'm going to let go of that. This need to please anybody. Because if I trace that back, I can see that came from my family, both sides of my family, of making sure that we take care of everybody else and ignore ourselves. Ignore my own needs because somebody else needs this, or not pay attention to what harm I'm doing to myself because it's helping somebody else. So I'm gonna let go of all that, and I'm gonna come right back here and not worry about pleasing everybody, because I trust in my heart. I trust in my experience in this life, and I trust that whatever you want to call it, God, source, creator, one, mother, it doesn't matter. It's all, you may think it matters, but I'm telling you it doesn't matter. It is all one. We are all one of the same. And that is why I can trust, and that's where I'm at, to be able to get on here and know that even if I do offend somebody, my heart is pure, my intentions are pure, and I want to be here and I want to share, and I'm excited and I'm freaking out because this is me saying I will be consistent with myself. I will put myself and my dreams and my passions and what I love and what I have to share, I will put it before what other people think about me, what I think other people think about me. Putting it up here because it's valuable, because I am valuable. I am worthy. And if nothing else, maybe I will inspire even one person. Maybe I'll inspire somebody else to believe that about themselves, that what you have to share is valuable, is worthy, is pure, is loving, is necessary, is needed on this planet right now. Oh, this brings me all the way back around, and then I'll stop. I've been sitting around for a couple of years. I mean, I haven't been sitting around, let's be honest. I've got a 2-year-old. That is not just sitting around. If anybody has a 2-year-old, a lot of parents have more than one. And so, y'all know, there's no sitting around with a 2-year-old or with any child, right? There's a lot to be done. So I've been doing that, but I guess I've been sitting in my mind and mulling this stuff over and not putting it out here. And I teach at a college, and I always tell my students, your dreams are worthy, your dreams are valuable, keep dreaming, because we need your dreams. Because the truth is, our thoughts become our words, become our actions, become our reality. We need everybody to be in a space where we can dream, where we can hope, and be excited about the next day, and know that where we are isn't where we're always going to be, and we can be somewhere else, and we can do better, and we can grow, and we can be prosperous and abundant, and we can have all of those things. And those are the hopes and the dreams, right? But right now we're in this craziness, in this space where everything looks like opposites just going at each other and dividing and crashing, and like it's kind of ugly. I would compare it to death. This death of ideology, that there's something, let's say hate. Hate is something we want to die, right? We don't want that to hang around because it's not who we are inherently. When you were a baby, you didn't have hate in you. You gained it through this environment. So hate is something we can let go of. And because it's such a powerful driver on this planet, because hate is so good at dividing people and controlling people, hate isn't gonna go away easy. Hate is gonna put up a fight and say, we're sticking around. So, we got all these dreams and we're dealing with this reality of pain and suffering and all the garbage that we have to deal with in our daily lives, of, paying bills that keep getting higher, and taking care of our kids whose needs keep getting bigger and expanding, and our own needs that keep expanding and evolving and changing, because we are changing beings. And so what I know for sure is that I'm here for now. There was a long time where I believed that I don't belong here. Like I would do better in the future. Or I would do better in the past, or I would do better somewhere else. But the reality is I was born here and now, and I know that I'm needed. And I know that you're needed, because you wouldn't be here if you weren't needed. That's what I know for sure. Because we aren't our bodies. We are souls having a human experience. And what that is, it's not for me to say. But this is my experiment, to be here now with you all and share from my heart, share my deepest desires, my greatest hope for humanity. And I've got deep, deep hope, y'all. I've got deep, deep love for all humans, all not even humans, all beings. I try to love all beings, and even the wasps that get in the house, they make it out alive. So yeah, that's, unless I don't find them and they die on their own. There's a few of those. But anyway, that's what I'm here for. So thank you for listening, and this is Dayla. Love.